Welcome to our island in the Finnish wilderness. It had nothing on it but trees, moss, and rocks. So far, we've made a base camp with a tent platform, outhouse, and a shower. Our goal is to build a log cabin completely by ourselves with no prior experience. We're documenting every step of the way, so join us on this journey of transforming our island.
This video is sponsored by Incog. More on them later. Okay, we're back at the island. It's me and Helena this trip. Hopefully we can make it to the island. Not 100% sure. I got some tools and stuff to see if we can walk across the ice. When we were driving here, parts of the lake look really frozen, parts of it don't look really frozen. Hoping it's thick enough to walk on, but we'll find out, because if it's not, I think it's going to be too thick for the boat. So we might have to not go to the island, but we're going to try.
Oliver. That looks horrible.
But honestly, I wonder if the boat, we can get it into that, because it looks like there's a spot where water comes and there's not much ice.
How thick is that?
I mean, it's 7 centimeters here. I'm scared of that line that's over.
Yeah.
I wonder if we go around, it's a shorter distance. It's like 5 centimeters-ish. Yeah, I mean, it's like 6 centimeters. We're getting the stuff to go to the island, and just before, me and Helena both came onto the ice for a bit, and it just started cracking underneath our feet. We could really hear it and feel it. And obviously we don't have to walk, both of us, at the same time to the island, but in order to get the equipment to the island, I have to drag the sled with 20, 30 plus kilos on it each time. The battery's really heavy, and all the other equipment we bring out here is really heavy. And with the ice being the absolute bare minimum to kind of try walking on at 5, 6, 7 centimeters, I don't think it's worth us trying. It says online and all the things that 10 centimeters is the safe amount. So being under that and having to bring a whole bunch of stuff there, even though it is so close and I was able to get there, it just feels like the wrong decision to try and bring all this stuff over there. We have to do at least 3, 4 trips, and with a whole bunch of extra weight behind us, it just feels like an unnecessary risk. The island is not going anywhere, and yeah. Obviously it sucks. We came all the way out here and it's literally right there. It feels like it's so close. I just want to run over there and do a few things, but I think that would be the wrong decision. So yeah, we're going to end up heading home, but yeah, I think we're going to end up posting on the community tab. See if you guys have any questions about the island, the project, all that kind of stuff, about either of us or whatever it is. But yeah, I think we don't want this to be a complete waste, so we'll try and do that. And yeah, 2025 is going to have a lot of stuff going on. My school's over, so we're going to have a lot more time to do things on the island and just in general. I'm really excited too. I mean, there's nothing better than being out here just in the middle of nature. It's always been my dream to do something like this, and even the thought of being able to kind of do it a bit more as a focus is absolutely insane. So thank you everybody for watching. But yeah, now we'll go answer some questions. All right, before we go any further, this video is sponsored by Incog. Incogni is a great way to protect your data and make sure it's yours, not anybody else's. When you go online nowadays, like, you end up getting on data brokers lists, and in order to get off it, Incogni is a great way. They go through and make sure you get off all of them. This is a process that if you do yourself would take forever. They purposefully make it a very tedious, annoying process, and Incogni basically automates it and makes sure you're off the lists. Another thing that they get you off of is people search sites, which is something I didn't even know really existed. But after one of our first videos, we had reporters calling us, and I mean, they got our numbers from there, I'm assuming. They actually called me, my dad, my uncle, basically everybody and anybody that I was related to, trying to get in contact with us, which was just crazy. But yeah, having Incogni now, we'll be able to get off all these sites, which is really, really nice. But yeah, if you're interested, you can use the link in our description and the code OffGridIsland to get 60% off the annual plan. They offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it out. We thought it would be a good time to answer some questions. We got a few from the YouTube community tab, as well as a lot from our Instagram. So we're gonna be answering as many of those as we can.
How did you get the idea to start this?
This has always been something I've dreamed of doing. I am half Finnish, half American, and most of the time I lived in the US, but I came to Finland every summer for about 6 weeks, and during that time it's like summer cottage season, and always going to friends and families' summer cottages. Like, I really fell in love with the summer cottage life, sauna, lake, all the things that you can do out here. It's really magical, and like fishing, all the things like are just perfect. And to me, I always thought like the dream summer cottage situation would be an island, because it's like, you know, you're kind of leaving the city, you're leaving like civilization, I guess, going out into the wilderness. And it's like, I always thought it would be weird to like go out and just be right next to your neighbor's cabin. Like, I thought it would be dream scenario, have an island. Never thought it would be possible. And then I ended up just kind of looking on real estate sites for fun, just seeing what is out there and stuff. And I never expected an island to be something that I could afford, or that we could afford. And yeah, this one popped up and was like at a price that was doable. And it was just like, I don't know, it felt like an opportunity that would, if we didn't do it, would just pass by, and like I would regret it forever.
So how much did you pay for the island?
I think we've done a couple videos talking about this before, but the price of the island that we ended up settling on was 28,000 euros. It was definitely a lot of money for us, but we thought it would be worth the investment. And so far it's been amazing.
How long was the legal process of getting the island?
The legal process was not too long at all. I think it was about 3 months. Pretty sure it's just like any other real estate transaction here in Finland. So
What has surprised you the most in the process so far?
oh God, what has surprised me the most? I guess just like
I
how...
can answer.
Huh?
I can answer.
You can answer?
The amount of people that want to watch this.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. Oh, did not expect it to go like this. From like the doing stuff on the island standpoint, I guess it's just like how possible it really is to do things. It's definitely like, I feel like I had really high expectations of like what I could do out on the island and how fast I could do them. And then once I got out there, I was like, oh wow, like, you know, I'm not just gonna be able to instantly pop up a cabin. I'm not gonna be able to instantly do these things. But then at the same time, I feel like I've been really surprised with like what I have been able to do. Like I don't know how much you guys know about like what experience I had going into this, but it was like quite literally none. Like all I had done is watched videos. All I had done is like just thought about the process. I had no experience being a lumberjack or doing any of these things, building. And I don't know, it surprised me that I've been able to keep up with the plan to an extent.
Do you need permission from the local authorities for building on the island?
Yes and no. It depends on what we're building. I ended up calling to make sure I could do the things we're doing. We don't want to do anything wrong. And like basically with the island, we're allowed to cut down trees, do all those things, as long as there is like an average of a 10-meter buffer of trees on the coastline, since you don't want to mess with that too much. The other things is like the smaller structures we've been doing, we don't need anything specific for it. I'm making sure they're under the specific sides that we need. And then also with 2025 coming, there's going to be a whole bunch of new rules when it comes to building permits here in Finland. And if it's under 30 meters squared, I believe, you don't need a building permit as long as it doesn't have certain things and stuff in it, which we need to make sure we adhere to. For the main cabin in the future, we're definitely going to need building permits for that. But the island itself has building rights on the, western half. And basically because of those, we're allowed to use the rights, but on certain buildings we need to get a permit, and then on other ones we'll be able to just build it as long as we follow all the rules and regulations.
Are you ever gonna live there?
I don't think we'll ever live there full time. We're not allowed to, in a sense. Like it can't be our permanent address. I haven't looked into it too much what exactly that means, like if there's a time limit, or just that you have to have another address, but you can stay there as much as you want. But the goal of this and the main purpose was always to be like a summer cottage or vacation house. But to be honest, like so far with the winter stuff, it has been really cool, and I feel like it would be fun to spend some time in the winters there. But I don't foresee it ever being our full-time home. I don't think it's even allowed to be.
Could you show us where you live right now?
I mean, we just have an apartment in Helsinki. It's nothing too crazy.
Are you going to make some sort of bridge instead of having to row?
No, I don't think we're ever going to build a bridge. I don't think that's allowed. I don't know what type of permits or rules you would even need to do that.
How do you launch your boat to access the island? Do you leave a car parked there?
We drive to the boat spot. We can get the car about probably 100 meters, 75 meters from the boat. We walk the rest of the way, and then the boat's just laying there. Flip it over, push it in.
Can anyone buy an island, and how do we do it?
I think you can. I'm not really sure how it works for people that aren't Finnish. I know if you are Finnish, you definitely are able to just buy an island. That's what we did.
What's the total area of the island?
The island is a little bit over 1 hectare, which I think is about 2.5 acres.
Is there pike in the lake?
There definitely should be pike in the lake. I have not caught any yet, but hopefully soon.
What are your final plans on what you want it to look like?
I mean, it's always kind of a moving picture. I feel like there's not like a set thing, but we want to get the mini cabin thing done now. Then there's the sauna cabin, which is going to be the big project that's in the near-ish future. And we're felling trees for that now. After that, I do want to build a larger main cabin. So we'd have those two, the sauna cabin and the main cabin, as like the primary staying places. And then obviously I think it would be cool to get like a balju, which is like a wood burning hot tub. And then if we can get those things done, I think that's like the dream.
Do you want to continue posting about life there even after the builds are complete?
The point of this stuff and recording the videos isn't just to be like building. I know it's been like primarily building focused right now. There's no place to really comfortably stay right now, so everything's been build. But especially once we get things going and there's more like places that are comfortable to stay on the island, like I don't know, I feel like it'd be fun to show off, like, you know, definitely fishing, definitely just what it's like to be at a Finnish summer cottage.
What are your top 3 advice for someone trying to do the same cabin from scratch?
I think just send it. The whole process, every single time, the biggest hurdle that I've had is just like actually doing it, you know? It's like always fun, and it's always been like nice to make the plan and do the things, but there's always like just starting the process, which has been really, really hard to get over. It's like kind of scary, and it always like, I don't know, somehow I always like bring random things into it, being like, oh, like, can I do it? Am I allowed to do it? Whatever it is, like trying to like give myself a reason not to start the process. And I feel like just doing it and starting the process has been like the biggest thing. And I think it's definitely worth doing. Other things I'd say is just prep. Planning is a lot of the process. I think you could tell from the mini cabin stuff, that one, out of all the things we've done so far, has had the least prep on it, and definitely been more mistakes and things that have come up because of that. So definitely planning and making sure to do things. I need to get better at that myself as well, but that's definitely a thing on there. And then last, I would say make sure to be safe. I mean, I'm trying with all the equipment and all the chaps and all the things, like using these tools and stuff, and felling trees is not something that you can just take lightly, even though like I've never done this stuff before and it's been going well for me. Every single time I do it, it is really, really scary. I try and make sure I have all the equipment on. I'm trying to make sure I do everything properly.
How old are you?
I am 24 years old.
Have you been to any Ducks games?
I have been to a few Ducks games. I used to live in the area, and I normally went to a couple games a year, depending on the year. And I also played for the Junior Ducks and like OC Hockey Club, all those things. So yeah, definitely a big Ducks fan.
What's your number one fear about this project?
I guess, number one fear is definitely just failing, I guess. Not being able to get it done, whether it's whatever reason it is. It would definitely suck. It is really scary, like taking on a project like this and doing it, but I'm really hopeful, and regardless of how things go, like I know we want to do this by ourselves, but there might be times we need somebody to kind of help us figure out how to do stuff and do those kind of things. I guess that is the biggest fear, is like getting to a point where I'm like I'm really way over myself. I can't get this done.
Do you plan on hiring any help?
The only help I think like we're gonna need to hire at some point for sure is going to be like getting drawings and stuff done for the like cabins. Definitely the sauna cabin, and for sure the bigger one. Like we want to make sure it's done properly, so we're gonna need somebody that knows what they're doing to get the drawings to make sure it's built and like everything's done. I really do want to try and get everything else done by myself. We'll see. Maybe I do need to get somebody to like oversee the project or something like that to make sure it gets done properly, but I don't know. We'll see exactly what happens there. We've got a ways until we start building these bigger like actual buildings, so we'll see.
What's the coldest it's gotten on the island?
Well, we've been there so far, it's only been down to like -5 degrees, but it was supposed to be like -8, -9 the trip that we tried to go, but weren't able to get there with the ice. I mean, we're going to be going full force going into the new year as soon as it starts. Like I want to go through the winter. It doesn't really matter how cold it is. I want to try it. We just got a little diesel heater, so we'll see if that can keep us warm.
Are you planning on inviting people to help on the island?
We'll see exactly how it goes. I think like there's probably going to be times that it would be really nice to have an extra set of hands to help move some of the logs around or do those kind of things. Maybe try and get some friends or something to help, but it's not like a set plan, but I'm also not like opposed to it. I think it'd be nice to have.
Are you eventually going to build a dock?
Yes, that I should have said that in the thing earlier. A dock is definitely something that we need on the island. One, just for getting there, it's going to make getting there with the boat much easier, but then on top of that, like it's going to make saunaing and all those things, getting in the lake, much nicer as well. So a dock is definitely something that is on the schedule.
Protection against bears.
We haven't seen any bears so far. Hopefully, they don't want to swim to the island. It's too much work, and in the wintertime they're hibernating, right? So can't just walk over. But yeah, we haven't seen any bears. Don't think there's supposed to be a large amount where we're at anyway. So
how did you meet your girlfriend?
I met Helena at school. We both started at the same time. We're like doing our bachelor's in business administration. I'm graduating now. Helena's got like a semester left, but yeah, we met at school and now we're here.
How close are your nearest neighbors to your island?
One part of the island, there's one neighbor over there. They're, relatively close when it comes to distance. We've talked to him a few times. He's come over to the island a few times. He's really nice, so we've had good experiences there. We also talked to a neighbor on another island that's relatively close by on the lake. You can see it from our thing. We went over to their island. It was really cool.
When do you expect to finish the cabin? Depends which one.
Yeah, depends which one, and I don't know. It's gonna depend a lot on how it all goes. I think the mini cabin first, I'm hoping we get that done in early 2025, like by March or something. I think it's possible. We'll see about that. And then basically once that's done, hopefully we can start the process of doing stuff for the sauna cabin. I'm assuming that's going to take probably like close to a year to build. I feel like if that gets done in 2025, that would be a miracle. So I don't think that's going to happen. It's probably going to be sometime in 2026, but we'll see on that. And then once that's done, it would be time to start working on the larger main cabin. And I'm thinking that one would be a bit simpler than the mini one. Than the sauna one, but that could take a long time too. I think there's easily 5 years worth of projects, if we even like longer if we're not doing this full time, but if we can focus on it more, I think easily 5 years worth of projects, probably more. So
Are there wild animals nearby that might come to the island once the lake is walkable?
when we tried to go last trip, there was already footprints on the ice of some animal that was walking to the island. I don't know what it was. I remember last year as well, we went to the island when it was frozen. I guess it was early this year, before we started really doing stuff, when we were checking it out before we bought it and those kind of things. I think there was moose prints or something. It was some big animal. But yeah, there's definitely animals around that are going to probably walk there.
Are you happy with your progress?
Yeah, I'm very happy with the progress so far. It's the only thing that we haven't done that I really wanted to do was the floating dock, and I think we should be able to build it. It was just really hard to figure out like the pontoons and those kind of things. I wanted to get like barrels that were cheap, like secondhand, and every time I was looking, I couldn't find any like en route. They were all like really far away, and it just wasn't worth like driving that far to get the barrels. So floating dock is the only thing that's missing from the plans so far. And yeah, I've been really happy with like how I've been able to fell the trees, how I was able to build the deck, the shower thing, like all these things. Like, I don't know, I feel like if you told me a year ago before we started this that I had done this, I would have told you no. So I'm definitely happy with the process so far.
When are you planning to upgrade your tent setup?
I don't know, I guess like, I mean, technically the diesel heater might be considered an upgrade to the tent setup, so that's coming soon. Other than that, I don't think we're gonna do anything crazy with the tent. Maybe, I don't know, I feel like the mini cabin is like the hopeful upgrade to the tent setup.
Is the goal to keep the island long term or sell it?
Definitely keep the island long term. It's not something that like we bought for building and selling. This is like, I guess like a passion project. Like we, more so me, I mean, Helena's from Poland, and like this is one of her first times doing this kind of experience. But like I said, I grew up, I'm Finnish and American. I grew up coming to Finland in the summer times, and like I just love the summer cottage life. Like my summer times here in Finland are probably my favorite thing in the world, and having a little piece that's mine is like the dream come true. It's definitely not something that we ever plan on selling. This is for us, and hopefully we can build it, develop it, and like, you know, have it be a little place for us and maybe, you know, a family someday.
How often do you get ticks, and is it a big problem?
We haven't had
I've
any
gotten one tick.
Yeah, we haven't had any that like stuck. I think Helena's had 2. I haven't had any yet. Helena's had 2 that like were crawling on her, but none that like bit. And it seemed like both times they came on like while we were walking to the car, because like that's where she noticed them. I don't think we've had any on the island so far.
What or who inspired you to do social media?
It was like a mixture. When we went into this, like Helena and me both thought it would be like an interesting idea. Like the main thing is like we knew we wanted to do this, and we knew we wanted to like document the process as well. We thought it would be really cool to have. I also actually I've like my grandpa built a cabin here in Finland himself, and he actually passed away before I could ever meet him. And like I really would love to have had like videos of him building it, being able to see that experience, do those kind of things. So we definitely wanted to document it, and we thought like if we're filming it, if we're doing the things, like why not try and make it kind of good, I guess. And you know, if there is an opportunity that we can do this as like a full-time focus, that's like even more insane. So
What are you studying?
me and Helena are studying international business, and our major is accounting and finance.
How far is the nearest village?
About 30-ish minutes away is the closest like stores and stuff.
Did you have to save a lot of money for this project?
Basically in 2019, I was going to community college in California, and I had a motorcycle. I got into a motorcycle crash, ended up getting a settlement from the truck driver because I got hit by a semi-truck, which was fun. That ended up becoming my down deposit for a condo I ended up getting in Colorado, and I got really lucky on the timing there. I bought it right before COVID happened and real estate prices were low. Ended up moving here to Finland in, was it 2022? 2020, yeah, 2022. Sold the condo then, and I mean, real estate prices were crazy at the time, and I think they still kind of are. So just got really lucky on those things.
Where did you find the sales advertisement for the island?
We just found it on a Finnish real estate website. I think I'd been looking for 2 years basically just for fun, and one popped up that I was like, I mean, I guess this one popped up and I was like, oh, we can actually maybe do this. So yeah.
Any horror stories from the island?
I think the biggest horror story has been the snowstorm thing. That was like, I feel like when we watched the video, it felt much less scary. I think like night mode made it feel like you could see more, but like in the moment we were literally just like floating in the lake and had no idea where we were going, which was really scary. And then I guess like the first few hung trees were absolutely terrifying. Even now they still are.
You have to read that one by yourself.
Which one?
You know which one.
Aiotteko hommaa sähköjä saarelle jossain vaiheessa? Ei. Ei me ikinä tehdä ota sähköjä sinne saarelle. Me varmaan halutaan saada aurinkopaneeleita, että me voidaan saada sähköt sillä.
Why don't you have a gas-powered saw?
I've never used a chainsaw before, and it's much more intimidating to have like a big loud machine versus the electric ones. And also like I really didn't want to mess with like doing all the gas and all these things, and I just figured like if we can do it electric, why not? Like I don't know, I want to get solar out there. I want to get these things. If we can have it like being its own little renewable place, like I feel like that would be really, really cool. And it's been going well so far. I know a lot of people say that like we should get a gas saw, we should get this, and like I don't know, most of the time and most of the work, like yeah, I would probably make cutting the trees down a little bit faster, but that's like such a small portion of what I'm doing. Like actually debarking and moving and doing those things is what takes way more time. So I don't really see the point of saving a few seconds, minutes, whatever it is, with a gas saw.
What is your inspiration for doing this?
I think it's like just for us, like being able to do this, have our own little island and being able to say we built it by ourselves. I think that would be really, really cool. And then on top of that, like I said earlier, my grandpa actually built a cabin here in Finland himself, and I don't know, just like something about that was like really, really cool to me. And I think that's part of the reason I want to do this as well.
What do your neighbors think of your plans?
So far it seems pretty good. We've had the one closest neighbor, he's come to the island a couple of times and showed him around. Last time I actually, kind of showed him where we're thinking of building all the stuff and what we've done so far. I mean, obviously I don't think he's like the most thrilled that there's a new neighbor there, but I think he's really likes what we're doing and the whole process so far.
How much Finnish do you know?
I know a good amount of Finnish. I've spoken Finnish my entire life at home. And like I said, I came here in the summer times. I also lived here for a year growing up as well. Mun suomen kieli on aika hyvä, mutta ei se ole maailman paras, en mä tiedä. Mä tarvitsen harjoitella enemmän, mutta kyllä mä osaan puhua aika hyvin. Ja mä oon puhunut suomea mun koko elämä. Se on vaan ollut mun äidin kautta. Se on vähän erilaista kuin jos mä oon kavereitten kautta tai jotain tollasta, mutta kyllä mä osaan puhua aika hyvin.
I think we're getting to the end. Okay, last question. Are you going to do any research about building with logs or continue to cut down trees for short-term entertainment?
I mean, hopefully everybody knows, like, we're not doing this for short-term entertainment. This is like a thing for us, and it's our project that we want to develop. I've been doing a lot of research. Obviously, there's parts where I should be doing more, but I feel like there's always going to be more research that could be done. And like I said earlier, I think a big important part is to like actually start doing things for the main cabin and all these things. Like we're not even at that point yet, but that's what my focus and what I've been focusing on trying to get ready for. The mini cabin is like a completely different thing that I've just been trying to do for fun. And like at the same time, the logs that I'm using for the mini cabin are the tips from the trees that I'm using before. So like otherwise they would have basically just either been used for firewood or I don't even know what else. Like they're too skinny for the main cabin. So I'm trying to like use as much resources as I can with that, and at the same time, say it ends up not working and it ends up falling apart, it's like I can still use that wood for firewood. So yeah, none of the stuff that we're doing, we're trying to be as efficient with our use of resources. We're on an island, we don't have an unlimited amount of trees, so I'm definitely trying to be smart with what we're using and how we're using it. Mistakes are a part of the learning process, and they're going to be a part of this. So hopefully, at the end of the day, everything is going to be built, and hopefully it can last as long as possible, because we do want to take care of this, and none of this is short term for us. This is a place we hope to have for the rest of our lives, and it's a place that hopefully we can pass on once we're gone too. I guess that's all the questions we had. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for 2024. This has been absolutely insane. We never thought we would be at this point, and it is surreal to us that there's so many people that want to be on this journey with us. We're going to be going into 2025 full force. We're going to try and make as many videos as possible, try and go there as much as possible. This is something I really want to make happen. I want to get this island into a state that we can go there to have fun and not just go to their work. Happy holidays to everybody. Like I said at the beginning, this is gonna be our last video of 2024. I think as of now, January 12th is when we're thinking of posting our next video and getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, thank you guys so much for everything, and can't wait to get back on the island and see you guys next year.
Thank you, Incog, for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to use the link in the description to get a discount.